Guys, I'm teaming up with my good friend, retired Navy SEAL Jocko Willink for something real special. Jocko started Joo Fuel when he found out the supplements he was buying for himself and his family were filled with heavy metals and ingredients he was unaware of. He wanted a line of supplements and consumables that had all of the good, effective ingredients and none of the bad. So we made it happen. I got set up with all of the key products, and we want to do the same for you. Jocko Go energy drinks for clean, sustainable energy. Jocko Milk Protein for 30 grams of delicious grass-fed protein, plus a full line of supplements to support mood, focus, hydration, joints, and more. Jocko Fuel supplements are scientifically formulated and made with ingredients that are clinically tested. They are better for you options with no artificial flavors or sweeteners, no added sugar, and no gray area ingredients or banned substances. It's clean fuel with health compromise. And right now, you can get 20% off when you use code Chael at jockofuel.com. Or if it's easier, just click on the link below. Well, son of a buck, he did it again. Mike Perry, I mean, what is going on there? It is one of the most interesting stories in sports. Truly, in its Olympic year. I mean, you not only have all the pros that you're used to, you now have an entire other crop of athletes known as the amateurs in every sport in the world, and Mike Perry is one of the most interesting studies. Truly. Like, if you think you know the Mike Perry story, I mean, let me just give you an example. If you think you know the Mike Perry story, and you think you know Perry just like you know any of the top guys, I mean, throw in the other champions, throw in the other faces of combat organizations. I don't care how you want to do it. You go to Aaron Brooks. You go to Mason Paris. You go to Gordon Ryan. You go to Canelo Alvarez. What do you want to do? Keep throwing them at me. You want to go to Michael Chandler. You want to go to Max Holloway. Who are the big names right now? Who are the headliners of these organizations? You will know where they live. Sure you would. In fact, we can narrow it down from there. You would know what gym they're at. In fact, let's do a little bit better. You would know who their coaches are. Every one of them. You couldn't tell me any of the three on Mike Perry. You couldn't. You will have these stories, these come from behind, these comeback kids, the guy that was one decision away from living on the streets, and they're going to be featured, they're going to be put on Peacock, and they're going to be put on NBC, and Nike's going to get behind them. They're all going to be true, and they're all going to revolve around a medal of gold, silver, or bronze in the pursuit thereof for the Olympic Games, just by example. And that guy that was living in his car or was one decision away from it is going to have a very specific story of a very specific diet that he began to follow, of a specific awakening that he had, of a spiritual moment, of a new coach that he latched onto that showed him a way and adjusted and tweaked him. You're going to have none of those from Mike Perry. Done. He's not even going to try to fool you. He's not going to try to make any of it up. And amongst all the fascinating things that are going around this guy, I mean, George St. Pierre needed 25 minutes and 3 judges to beat Alves. Mike Perry needed 1 hook. I mean, if you understood fully what he's doing, the part about the training and the gym and the preparation and the Casamaro type character that's the man behind the man is possibly more relevant in that sport where you are looking to crush your opponent. There is no scoring points. There is no, the jab, right? I mean, you always hear that. Any boxing that's ever came into MMA just by example, always going to show them the jab. The jab controls the fight. I appreciate those things. I'm not teasing those guys. I'm just sure that's very different concept when you have a 12-ounce glove on. When you have a 4-ounce glove on, there is no fight that's controlled with a jab. And every time a boxing guy comes to MMA and he looks around there and goes, man, these guys don't know a jab. Let me start a jab. Let me show them a jab. I'll change their fight. It's not that they haven't learned the jab. They've just learned the risk of the jab, the risk of standing that close and throwing a pitter-pat, feel-you-out punch does not outweigh boom, boom, and putting a guy down, okay? And that's when you come from the big gloves to the MMA gloves. Mike Perry has no gloves. So I'm doing my best here in words to illustrate for anybody that hasn't tried that kind of environment. And you can do it right now. You can set your phone for 1 minute and just stand it right where you are and just shadow box for 1 minute. You will feel a level of exhaustion where your heart's going to come out of your chest. It'll take you 5 and 6 minutes to recover if you've never done it before. So when you go into a situation like that, which is the exclusive environment that Mike Perry is in, oh, by the way, at the end of the night, oh, by the way, as the star in the face with everything to lose. He can't go any further. He's number one. He can't go he can go that way. And when you go into that, to explain the level of conditioning that you must have just to protect yourself. But I can't tell you who's training him. I can't tell you where he's training. I can't tell you that he's in seclusion and he's at altitude and he's following a special diet. And he's working tomatoes and he's getting his hemoglobin and his hematocrit up. Can't tell you any of these things. And I don't think it's because the story's staying quiet. I'm not convinced he's doing them. I'm not convinced Perry is doing them. There's something else at play here. He is possibly the most dominant athlete of any sport right now. It is a fascinating story. He just put down the guy that Georges St. Pierre needed 3 judges in 25 minutes to put down. I mean, that just happened. I could run back for Alvarez. I could run back to Rockhold. I mean, I can keep on playing this game. I'm only going back as recently as Saturday. And then you get a big announcement. McGregor Sports Entertainment's getting involved. There's nobody that's going to outwork Dave Feldman. And by the way, there's not one production aspect that he could do better. It is a beautiful show. It is beautifully ran and always has been. Even when times were tough, he never sacrificed on production. And it's just a very interesting situation. What is it that Conor sees? Just by example. Is he betting on the product? Is he betting on the jockey? Dave Feldman's a good bet. He'll protect your money. He'll work his ass off to do it. Or is Conor betting on the face of the company? Most likely it's a combination of all three. But any way you look at it, it is a tremendous compliment to Mike Perry.